5 films are running for the Oscar of Best Original Screenplay. In this video, I'll take a look at them and state what I enjoy and what I think could be better. Of course, these are personal preferences, so make sure to leave your own opinion in the comments. Now let's get to it. Triangle of Sadness, written by Ruben Östlund.
And as the communist captain now is setting course for Cuba.
What a waste of a great premise. This is a childish satire that's about as deep as a kiddie pool. Characters are introduced to play no part in the plot. One of the major characters is presented over 90 minutes into the film. Setups have no payoffs and payoffs have no setups. And to be direct, this comedy is not funny. It gives a shot at cringe humor, and it fails for a perfectly simple reason. The characters aren't interesting.
I have this girl who should be here with me, but couldn't come, and I would like to take a picture. Please.
Protagonists Carl and Yaya are empty wastes of time and space with no personalities. They spend 12 script pages and 16 movie minutes in a conversation about who should pay the bill. And there are no jokes.
You said you were going to pay for food today. At the end of the meal, you said, thanks, tomorrow I'll get it.
There isn't one single joke.
You didn't see the bill when it got put on the table?
I didn't, Carl.
It's meant to be discomfortable for discomfort's sake.
We shouldn't just slip into the stereotypical gender-based roles that everyone else seems to be doing. I want us to be equal.
No twist, no idiosyncrasy, just the same beat over and over again.
Once I realized you didn't have enough cash, I paid the bill. And then instead of giving me the €50 bill, you put it back in your purse.
Östlund should have watched more of The Office.
Is there a term besides Mexican that you prefer? Something less offensive?
Mexican isn't offensive.
Well, it has certain connotations.
The most interesting characters in Triangle of Sadness are Russian oligarch Dmitry and the nameless communist captain.
Russian capitalist and an American communist. Oh.
On a $250 million luxury yacht.
Sounds like a great idea. How are they going to discuss their opposing worldviews? By saying quotes.
Socialism works only in heaven where they don't need it, and in hell where they already have it.
The last capitalist we hang will be the one who sold us the rope. Karl Marx.
No thoughts of their own. That would require the screenwriter to come up with them himself.
The most powerful single force in the world today is man's eternal desire to be free and independent. Kennedy.
A conversation built on quotes could have been a fun approach. If there had been anything in the script that proves Östlund is capable of writing good dialogue.
Let's not beat around the bush. I'm very rich.
How rich are you?
Oh, I'm so fucking rich, you know.
There isn't. Though I do like seeing Dmitry give the pirate business advice.
You invest in your girlfriend? Yeah? You should do the other way around. Invest in business, buy a boat, and girl comes to you.
The movie could have used with more interaction between its disparate characters, instead of just hanging about silently. The Fabelmans, written by Tony Kushner and Steven Spielberg.
Art will give you crowns in heaven and laurels on earth, but it'll tear your heart out and leave you lonely. You'll be a shanda for your loved ones.
It's a good film. Not bad. That said, it's terribly unremarkable. Lead character Sammy's family life makes an already long film needlessly drag. The mother Mitzi adds so much corniness and needless drama to the film, she's unbearable.
You do what your heart says you have to.
The best side of the film deals with Sammy's passion for filming, and the script manages to make his hobby—
Can you stop calling it a hobby?
Whatever, not a hobby— affect his personal life. He finds out about his mother's affair by noticing details in his recordings, and it leads him to stop filming for some time. I doubt Spielberg found out in real life in such a visual and cinematic way. Good narrative choice then. And Sammy's school bully, Logan, he could have been just a superficial petty villain, but Spielberg and Kushner give him a brilliant conclusion. By watching Sammy's whole movie, he realizes he's seen as a golden god by everyone in school. Instead of puffing his ego, it makes him feel imposter syndrome as he realizes he can never live up to people's expectations.
You make me feel like I'm some kind of failure, or a phony, or like I'm supposed to be some guy I'm never gonna be. Not even in my dreams.
That is heavy. That's highly complex psychological depth in what is almost a throwaway character. It adds intelligence and pathos to this most supporting of supporting characters.
You took that guy, whoever he is, wherever you got him from, and you put him up there on that screen and told everyone that that's me, and that's not me. It's...
And Sammy's girlfriend, Monica, she has a high school crush on Jesus, which she transfers to Sammy.
Probably he looked like you.
Oh, because he was...
Jewish. A handsome Jewish boy.
Later, he is unlucky to fall for her, and she reveals she never took their relationship seriously.
Are you breaking up with me?
Not at prom, but of course, eventually.
She sells herself as a pious, loving creature, but she has no values. She sees religion as wallpaper and a boyfriend as a distraction. She is incapable of real feelings, be it religious or romantic. In a very underhanded way, this character is terrifying.
And I'm gonna pray really, really hard for you. Because you're such a fun boy to kiss, but...
I'm not even gonna mention how great is Uncle Boris, but I talk about Logan and Monica to show how much work was put into character psychology in this screenplay. It might not have the most original premise and its plot might plod, but the Fabelmans has better writing, the school bully and the Jesus freak than Triangle of Sadness has in the whole cast.
Honey, Nutella.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once by Daniel Scheinert and Daniel Kwan. I wouldn't call this film as original as everyone else seems to. It's very much a product of current times.
So stupid.
But it's still a fun ride that does the best with what it has. Like every sci-fi flick, Everything, Everywhere needs to explain a lot to the audience.
I'm not your husband, and he's not the one you know. I'm another version of him from another life path, another universe.
A lot.
And he's begun spreading its chaos to this is your universe. Life is meant for and searching for one existence. Every soul with the Alphaverse. We began training many young minds to roast jump.
You're the one with the chef.
There was one who was far above
And
the
he
most
makes
gifted.
bad food.
It could have delved into clunky extended exposition, but the way it gives you cold information is exemplary. There's no dumping. It presents you with its weirdness for quite some time until you, as much as the uninformed characters, are the one who is begging for exposition.
Explain it all to me now.
And it never gives you too much at once, always leaving some pieces of information for later scenes. The screenplay is also quite successful at balancing the serious with the silly, and at giving every character and their alternate dimension selves fully rounded story arcs. I wouldn't call any character particularly deep though. The film's dramatic conflicts are rather simple. They can be solved with just an earnest conversation, with the action being just some flashy distraction until it happens. I really like how insane is the action though. This is a very good film, but a film aimed at teenagers. And it's actually quite dangerous to society. If science spinners and teppanyaki chefs watch this movie, they'll learn they've been harboring powerful fighting skills and will face a violent revolution. The Banshees of Inisherin by McDonagh.
Oh, for God's sake, Porrick, how many more times?
I am not putting me donkey outside when I'm sad, okay?
Though I do not like the film's open ending, no, I do not think the Irish Civil War allegory is good enough an excuse. This is the screenplay with the best set of characters. Colin Farrell's Porrick goes through an amazing story arc, from happy-go-lucky chap to lonely, vengeful brooder. Column's actions are a bunch of contradictory, unbalanced acts of a madman, and they give you no choice but to keep guessing where this crazy story is heading. Siobhan, the only mature person of the bunch, seems to be living her very own movie in the sidelines, forced to run away from the madness these boys bring to the island.
God! It was all going fine until he chopped off all his fingers.
And Dominic, the village idiot, he reveals a surprising level of emotion in what could have been just a comic relief character.
There goes that dream.
And what dialogue!
Not only have I not gone feckin' mental, but I have 10 fingers to prove I've not gone feckin' mental. How many fingers do you have to prove you've not gone feckin' mental?
9 fingers.
And 9 fingers is the epitome of mental.
It does one of the hardest things dialogue is supposed to do. It gives you a sense of time and place, and it individualizes each character. Basically, they all sound like they live in the same community with the same speech habits.
He was smoking, Siobhan. How do you smoke in your sleep, like?
But you live on an island off the coast of Ireland, Colin. What the hell are you hoping for, like?
Would you not want him to have to do the one finger to see if he was bluffing, like?
For fuck's sake, like. You know, shush, like.
Yeah, I'd shush like.
But they all have distinct personalities and never completely sound like each other.
My brother told you, didn't he? That you'd be out on the road if you started talking stupid to me.
He said creepy, not stupid.
Well, you failed on both counts, haven't you?
And the fact we have a cop, a priest, and an oracle makes this world feel even more alive. I wish the Fabelmans was 50 pages shorter and this one was 50 pages longer. Tar, written by Todd Field.
You want to dance the mask, you must service the composer. You gotta sublimate yourself, your ego, and yes, your identity.
When I watch Triangle of Sadness, I have the feeling that Ruben Östlund did not spend 1 minute of his time doing research. At most, he googled some quotes to pass on as dialogue. Tar is the opposite. Todd Field clearly spent a long time getting to know in depth the modern world of classical music.
Just look at Beethoven 5. The third movement's theme has the same sequence of intervals as the opening theme of the final movement of Mozart 40.
And I'm sure every time I rewatch the film, I'm gonna pick up something new.
The composer tells us to begin with back and forth tremolo strokes with wire, brush, and slowly sliding crotales over skin. Sounds like Rene Redzepi's recipe for reindeer.
Though Tar is about misuse of power, it chooses to play on hard mode. There isn't one single display of clear power abuse. It's all kept behind the surface. How Lydia learns from her crush Olga that she is good at playing the Ogre Concerto. Then she tells her orchestra she'll hold auditions for that piece. And Lydia makes sure the one who should get the job won't have the time to practice. So Olga wins, and it's a blind audition, so Lydia's manipulation is perfectly hidden. Beautiful and discreet storytelling. Here's another example. Julian Glover's Andres is Tar's predecessor as the Berlin Philharmonic conductor. Notice how in one of their talks, this old-timer makes it clear, in a discreet way, how it's perfectly normal for authorities like them to perform sexual favors. Lydia mentions she won't promote her assistant Francesca.
Who will you replace him with?
Possibly Andrew Crust. He's been assisting Otto Tausk with the VSO.
Not the girl.
Text, not the girl. Subtext, I thought she was fucking you for that promotion. The seemingly harmless 3 words lead Lydia to think about the accusations that are piling up against her.
Have you ever had an issue with a student or colleague where that person may have misinterpreted your
Has
intention?
someone been complaining about me?
No.
Mind how it's like he's been expecting someone to accuse him.
Has someone been complaining about me?
No, of course not.
Because at this point, they missed their chance. I'm out of the game.
Yes, I know, of course you are.
And he never says he's innocent. He says he's retired, so there's no point in making accusations. Not one word is directly spoken, but it's clear that this guy sold his wild oats during his authority time.
By the way, you had to be ready. For years, I made sure all the hangers in my closet were facing the same direction.
This mastery of indirection is the screenplay's high point. Close to the ending, we find out Lydia was born in Staten Island. She has a brother who sounds nothing like her.
But you don't seem to know where the hell you came from or where you're going.
It was nearly 2 hours earlier that this backstory was suggested, when we see her listening to NPR and practicing the announcer's upper-class accent.
2008?
2008. I eat ears. And you should too.
Her whole persona is fabricated, which I'm not against, by the way. I think people who strive for success absolutely should learn to sound and look as good as possible, even though that's unjustifiably frowned upon today. Tyranny of mediocrity and everything, but I digress. For having the best character of the year and pulling an intricate act of insinuation and misdirection, Todd Field star is the best screenplay of the year, and that's the winner I would choose.
Good. Good.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss any future videos.